Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and in this video I'm going to show you how I film and edit my Instagram videos. I'm going to show you what lighting I use, what tripod I use, what editing software I use and how to use it, and then as a bonus I'm actually even going to show you what I use to write my captions. So let's jump right in. Okay, so first things first, the tripod that I use. This is the tripod that I use, and it looks pretty intense, but it's the best one I've found, and I'm going to explain why. So this is from a company called Archon Mounts, and this is the only one I've ever found that I actually really like and that is like multi-functional. For a really long time I was using one of those suction mounts that you put on the dash of your car and that holds your phone, and you can kind of like angle it however you want. So I think that's great too if you don't want to invest a ton of money, but this one is like hands down my favorite one I've ever had. So here's why. The first reason is that the base is heavy enough to hold it, and when you put your phone in it, it's not going to fall over. A lot of tripods are like really wobbly. This one is not wobbly. It's for sure sturdy. The next reason is that there's so many different connection pieces that you can change. So each one of these has a little ball joint, and if you loosen the knobs, it gives you, like, you can move this side or this side and they loosen, and then you can tighten it up really, really tight. So this, if you tighten it all the way, is going to hold that really sturdy. I'm not ever worried about it falling over. And you can change it on so many angles because there's so many different pieces. So you could have it really on a weird angle like this, and you can change all the different ball joints to make different angles. So that is really helpful. You can also buy more of these pieces. This feels awkward with this like totally blocking my face, but you get the idea. You can also buy more of these pieces, or you can remove them if you don't need it to be so long. But I find it really helpful to extend it all the way this way so that the base isn't showing in my video. And the other cool thing is this can extend really tall. I know this is gonna go out of the frame. You're not gonna be able to see it, but it can go really, really high. So if you're filming something big, that's really helpful too. So those are the reasons why I really like this tripod. And again, I'll link to it down below, and I actually have a coupon code. Let me get this out of my face now. I actually have a coupon code. If you enter, I think it's Happy, if you enter Happy Ever at checkout, you'll get 20% off of it. So it's really, really great. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in it. But again, if you don't want to invest that much money, you can just buy like a gooseneck or another one that's like made for the dash of a car, and those are great too. I have a 50-page supplies guide, and I'll link to that down below as well, but it has all my tripods and all of my different mounts that I've used in the past. So lots of options there. Now for lighting. This one might come as a shock, but I don't actually use lights. I have lights on me right now because I'm in my YouTube studio, and for this, I need it to be bright. But when I'm filming just an Instagram video, I actually just sit in front of a really big window at home. So the best lighting you're gonna get is natural lighting. The only reason I have these bright lights in here and I'm in my YouTube studio is that I have to control the sound in here too, so I can't do it at home. But when I'm filming an Instagram video, I actually just sit right in front of this big window at home, and it's facing me. And then I put, so like where you are right now, window facing me, my tripod is here, and the sunlight is coming down at me, and I'm sitting here. So the brighter that you can get it with sunlight, the better. And the more natural it's gonna look when you start editing it. So natural light is perfect. If you don't have natural light, you want to try and get 2 spotlights and have them on either side of you, and just move them around until the shadows look sort of normal. I actually did an interview with one of my photographer friends a long time ago. I'll link to it up here. Her name's Emma, and she walked us through a couple different ways that you can brighten up your videos too, with different like reflectors and stuff. So that video is really helpful if you want to watch that. Okay, so once I've set up my tripod, I have my phone in it, and I have the window in front of me, I actually just go ahead and film whatever it is I'm filming. So I'm not going to do that on camera because that'll make this video a lot longer than it needs to be. I have a video on my phone already that I'm going to just show you exactly how I edit. So the app I use is called Ultralight. So I would open that up, and then I'm going to go to my albums and find the video I want to edit. So this is the one I'm going to edit, and this is just me doing a normal envelope. So all I do is hit edit, and it opens up these options here. So the first thing that I want to do is crop it into a square, because obviously it's for Instagram. So I'm going to hit the square and hit this 1-to-1 button, and then you can move around your video and you can drag it to be a little bit bigger if you want. So I'm going to drag it just so it fits that perfect square, And then I'm gonna go to this first button here with the different levels. And this is where you can play with the highlights and the shadows and all that kind of stuff. So I usually drag the timer to like halfway through my video so that I can see my hands and the colors on the envelope, and so that I can kind of get a feel for what it's all gonna look like. And then I just slide these things up and down. So this the highlights and the whites are one that I use a lot because I like my backgrounds on my videos for Instagram to be really white. So I usually just slide those up pretty far. And then I play with the other ones and see if I like anything that those do. I usually don't touch them too much. Sometimes I change the shadows a little and make it a little darker with the blacks. And if you ever decide you want to undo something that you just did, you can hold onto wherever you dragged it and it'll just naturally snap back to where it started. So really easy to undo. So those are like the main settings that I hit. Then sometimes I go to this triangle and I hit clarity. I'll make it a little bit clearer, or you can hit sharpen too and do that. And that's pretty much all I do, honestly. It depends what video it is. Sometimes it's a little bit more involved than that, but that's pretty much it. And so you can drag this timer thing all the way along and you can see how it changes. And I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. So then I just hit save and I save a new copy in my camera roll. And that's really all there is to it. Then once I have my video saved, there's actually one more step that I do, and this is kind of the bonus that I talked about in the intro. And if you've ever noticed that when you go on Instagram and you type in a caption, even if you type in your caption in like a note or something and paste it into Instagram, it doesn't register the spaces in between your paragraphs. And I find that really, really annoying. I've found out recently that it depends what device you're using, but I know that for iPhones it's a problem. So I actually downloaded this app called Spacey. And all it does is you type in your caption, like test, 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 and then you enter a space, test, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then you can even put your hashtags in here. And then you hit convert and it's copied to your clipboard. So when you go into Instagram and you go to post whatever you wanted to post, you go to enter your caption, and you can just paste it right there. And the spaces will definitely register. So I find that really helpful. It's really frustrating when you see like a big long paragraph in people's Instagrams. And so that's what I'm constantly using. So really that's all there is to my editing process. I use the Archon mount tripod. I work in front of a window and I use the Ultralight app to edit my videos, and then I use Spacey to make my captions. And then I just post it to Instagram, and that's when the magic happens. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you hit subscribe because I put out 2 new videos every single week, and I'm gonna be starting to do a lot more of these like little business tutorials answering some of the most common questions that I get. So I'll see you in the next one.